In the face of Hurricane Matthew, Republican Governor Rick Scott of Florida initially said that he was not going to extend the voter registration deadline, which would have been nice, so that all of the people in Florida who followed his suggestion that they run for their lives would still be able to register and actually vote in this election. He tried to convince people that we need to focus on saving lives. We don't have time for democracy and all that. And so the Democratic Party sued, and thankfully U.S. District Judge Mark Walker earlier this week, he already had extended the deadline by 1 day, which is nice of him. Now the new deadline is October 18th, an addition of 6 days from the original deadline. He was quoted as saying, "No right is more precious than having a voice in our elections." Nice to see someone in Florida remembering that. He also said these voters have already had their lives and quite possibly their homes turned upside down by Hurricane Matthew. That deserves a break, especially one that is mandated by the United States Constitution. So Rick Scott tried to do what Republicans do in so many different situations in so many different states, which is try to stop as many people as possible from voting. Thankfully, there was a judge here who fixed it. Another reminder that appointments to the federal judiciary are incredibly important.
Okay, 2 quick points. One, Alicia Menendez on Young Turks on Fusion on Monday made a great point when she was on with you. She said, this was in the old days that you had to send in your registration and there was mail and there's postage. There's a reason why that deadline existed. In today's day and age, when it's all digital, there is no reason for the deadline at all. You should be able to walk up to the voting station, as long as they confirm it on a computer. We're not saying, no rules, right? And
it takes 2 seconds.
Boom, you confirm it, and there it is. Okay, now you're registered and go ahead and vote. Oh, well, then everybody would get the vote. Yes, that's right. That's what would happen. Okay, it's not fraud when people actually vote. Right? It's fraud if they vote twice, etc. You can't confirm it, but you can confirm it digitally.
Yeah.
The only reason to have these deadlines is so that Republicans can block more voters.
Yep.
And so think about it that way. One party gets into power, and they want to empower people. And look, there's downsides to both parties, and if you're a conservative, there's a lot you don't like about Democrats. But on this issue, put aside your blinders for a second. One party tries to get more people to vote, that in this case is the Democratic Party. The other party tries to make sure as little people as possible vote. Now, if you're a Republican, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, but the guys who are the ones that are registering late, what does late mean, right? Late, closer to the election, well, they're more likely to be what? Not voting on your side, right? So, but does that make them un-American? Does that make them less of a citizen? Does that mean that we should take their vote away? That we should punish them? No, you're just making excuses. Of course it's better if more people vote. And if you were so confident that you were on the winning side, well, then you would want more people to vote.
You'd think. What if Donald Trump gave a great speech and inspired a whole bunch of people to get involved in politics? Screw them. They waited too long.
And so that leads to the final irony here. At this point, Donald Trump is losing. If somehow he can turn it around in the next, in under a month, and people get excited to vote, you would want them to be able to register so they could vote for him.
Oops.
Right? Yeah, oops, you screwed that up. Be in favor of democracy. It's not such a bad thing. We should give it a shot.
Yeah, no, I imagine that if you are watching this, especially if you're watching the live stream of this show, you're probably already registered to vote. But if not, other deadlines, non-Floridian deadlines, are passing quickly. Actually, a bunch passed yesterday, on Tuesday, that is. So you already missed that one. But hopefully if you're in Missouri, get out there today. Let's post this video early in the night. But then in the 14th, we have Idaho, New York, Oklahoma. On the 15th, there's Delaware. This is not a complete list because many states have a number of different dates depending on when the letter is postmarked and when it's received. Google it. It's out there. There are organizations, great organizations like Voto Latino, who are doing outreach on this. A lot of organizations doing the hard work of registering as many people as possible. But there is a little bit of onus on you. Google it, find out, register. You can usually do it online.
Unlike the other side, we don't mind if you're a Republican and you want to register. You should. As an American, that's a wonderful thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to get more people to vote against Donald Trump, but that's called America, right? Yeah. Go and do it. And I get so frustrated by progressives who are like, oh no, what if we do a convention of the states to get an amendment and the Republicans do one? Yeah, it's called a democracy. They get to have conventions, we get to have conventions, they get to vote, we get to vote. Trying to shut down democratic processes because you're worried about the results means you're not really in favor of democracy. So everybody go out there and register. and then let's debate, and then we'll have a president. That's how it should work.